and welcome to the Autocar show. Now BMW have just refreshed the X1 and they've made quite a few changes. But are they enough to take on the competition? Well, we're putting the Q3 against the X1 and we're going to find out. You might have to look hard to find the changes on the X1. But even with the minor tweaks, it does manage to look different. The changes are mainly in the lower parts of the rear and front bumper, which now have more paint area. The side skirts also get an upmarket glossy finish. And the headlights are the same shape, but the elements inside are changed. New exterior mirrors that incorporate indicator lights finish off the changes. The Q3, though unchanged, still runs away with the honors, and this is because it manages to look the part of an SUV. Especially when you view both cars together, the X1 lands up looking more like a station wagon. I really like the two-tone coloring on the Q3, and the beige does a lot to open out the space on the inside. Everything feels good quality, be it the plastics, the wood finish, or the way the switchgear all works and feels. It all feels top-notch and every bit the luxury SUV is meant to be. The X1, with all its changes, now comes across as much better quality than before. There are aluminium accents on the dash, chrome rings on the gear lever and light switches, and the sheer quality of plastics makes it feel much more premium. It also comes better equipped than the Q3 now, with satellite navigation, xenon lights, seat memory, a panoramic sunroof and parking sensors, which are all standard equipment. Both cars also have Bluetooth connectivity, voice command and climate control. The Q3 may not be as well equipped, however, it does have the larger boot. The Q3 feels far more like an SUV to drive. You sit higher up, you have a more commanding view of the road, it feels bigger, and not only in its size to drive, but it also feels bigger on the inside. It feels more spacious, more airy inside the cabin. The X1, on the other hand, feels more like a car. You sit lower to the road and you don't see the end of the bonnet as easily. Now, under that hood, the X1 comes with the same engine, but power and torque have been upped. It now has the BMW twin-scroll turbo as well, making 181 bhp and 38.74 kgm of torque. The Q3, on the other hand, churns out 174 bhp and an identical 38.74 kgm of torque. The Q3's engine is smooth and refined, and even when you put your foot down, you barely hear it. But that's when you get a big smile on your face, because you get that shove of torque back into your seat. It's a punchy, torquey engine that's quick. Now, the X1 may not feel that punchy, but don't be fooled by its linear acceleration. It is pretty quick. It feels much better in the city because there's no suddenness to the turbo kicking in, and it's neck to neck literally with the Q3 in a flat-out test. 0 to 100, the X1 is 0.1 seconds quicker. The biggest difference is made by the BMW new 8-speed gearbox. It works extremely well, and in the 20 to 80 test, it came out a second quicker than the Q3. This 8-speed gearbox in the BMW shifts smoothly, and its willingness to downshift is what impresses. The Q3's gearbox, on the other hand, feels slow. Floor the throttle and there's a noticeable lag before the box shifts down. When you're on a bit of twisty, windy road, the dynamics of the X1 really impress you. It just holds the road so well. It's flat, it's composed, it hugs the corners, the steering is sharp, and you can really chuck it around and have fun, and it feels safe at all times. So if you want to have fun around the corners, this is the one to do it in. There is really no comparison in the dynamics. The BMW feels sure-footed whether you're at high speed on a highway or flat out chasing corners. The Q3 feels much softer, rolls a lot more, and has some amount of understeer. And the steering just lacks consistency and feels light. even with the all-wheel drive, it just doesn't match the X1. This is where the X1's car-like feel becomes an advantage. Although we have to say that with the Q3's lighter steering, it is the easier one to pilot through city traffic. The Q3's ride has the softer edge. Be it low speed or high speed, this one goes over the bumps much easier. But it also has a lot more movement, so you do tend to get tossed around a little bit more in the back seat of the Q3. However, as far as space is concerned, this one definitely feels larger in size. The Q3 suspension, though, is strangely clunky, and you hear it on the inside of the car, where the X1 works away silently. It may not be as flat and composed as the Q3, but it still takes bad road in its stride and only gets caught out on the sharper ridges. The X1 has also made quite a few changes for fuel efficiency. There is the Eco Pro mode, which adjusts the shifts, throttle response, and the climate control for efficiency. And it also has the stop-start. However, even with all the new technology, it didn't manage to beat the Q3. The Q3 turned out an identical 10.5 kilometers per litre in the city, which is impressive considering it's heavier. Out on the highway, the Q3 was actually better, returning 14 kilometers per litre against the X1's 13.8. Well, the changes have definitely evolved the X1 and made it a better car overall. It's got better performance, it's more fuel efficient, it feels nicer to drive, and it feels more premium as well. The dynamics, well, they remain excellent, and it feels every bit the BMW. It involves you when you drive it, and if you want to chuck a car around corners, this one is it. But that's just it. It feels very car-like in every which way. If you want that big premium SUV feel, then the Q3 definitely offers that far more. It gives you a commanding position, commanding view on the road, feels top-notch quality on the inside, it's spacious, it's got a punchy engine, and it feels every bit the premium compact SUV that it's meant to be. And so, it still remains our pick in the segment.